So we have this interesting operator called modulo. It's the percent sign. And you might be thinking, oh, well, what does 45% 100 do? And you're probably going to think it gives you back the number 45 because it calculates the percentage of that divided by that, right? But no, it does not. What it does is it returns the remainder of a division operation. So what you're doing is you're doing 45 divided by 100, right? And 45. Okay, so then the way this works is you got how many times does 100 go into 45? And that's going to be equal to 0. And the remainder is 45. Right? So this is what is going to be returned by this expression here, 45 modulo 100. So let's go ahead and print that out and prove that that's the case. And I could go ahead and comment this out by using the number sign. And I run it, and we can see here it's 45. Okay. Now, what about if I do 45 modulo 10? Right. What does that mean? Well, that changes our expression here to 45 divided by 10. And now the question here is how many times does 10 go into 45? And so it goes into 45 4 times, leaving a remainder of 5. And that's what this expression is going to print out. Right? 5. Okay. 45 modulo 2. What is that going to print out? Well, that turns this expression to 2. And 2 goes into 45 22 times. Right? And now what's the remainder? The remainder is 1. And why is the remainder 1? Because 22 times 2 is 44. And 45 minus 44 is 1. Right? So we get a remainder of 1. And that's what we're going to print out. 1. Okay. And a lot of you might be thinking, like, what the heck is up with this modulo? Another unnecessary piece of information. I will not spend any time remembering it or thinking about its importance. It's actually very important, and we use it all the time. So it's something that you cannot put into the trash file, right, in your head. You need to remember it, and I'll show you one example of how to use it. Right? So here we have some number, which is a variable. I'm going to put in the number 4 in there. Now, if I take num and I mod it by 2, right, then I can tell if num is even or odd. Right. We haven't really talked about this yet, but we have these if statements. And we got num mod 2. If it's equal to 0, then print even. Else print odd. Okay. So this is like the most common way that modulo is used, is to tell if a number is even or odd. And here we have an if statement. You got this: if this is true, do this. If this is not true, then do this else. Okay. And so it's going to come in here. It's going to make the variable, set it equal to 4. Do line 2, nothing there. Do line 3. Check if this statement is true. This is not an equals operator. It is a question. It's a Boolean expression that says, is this value equal to that value? Right? And so it's going to do num mod 2. And if you remember, 2 is going to go, num is 4. So it was 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2 with a remainder of 0. So this expression here is going to return 0. Right? And then this is going to be true. 0 is equal to 0. So it's going to print even. Right? Let's take a number. Well, let's run it. It says even. Let's take a number like 3. It's going to be 3 mod 2. So it's going to be 3 right here, mod 2. So 2 goes into 3 one time, and we have a remainder of 1. So this expression here is going to return 1, and it's going to print out odd. Okay. Now you could see, if you kind of extrapolate and think about it, for any number num, this little bit of code here will tell you if it's even or odd. Okay. Now again, this is not something that has any context at the moment, but modulo is going to be used quite a bit. So file it away as an important operator that we need to know about.